I look at the scriptures, there's the story that I feel like I identify with the most. I think when I first started kind of reading the New Testament, I was always really um, compelled by the story of Jesus and the woman who's caught in the act of adultery. And
Mm.
they bring her to Jesus and they say, "These are all the accusations. This is what happens." And there's so many ways that you can think about that story, but what I've always been just so profoundly just like enamored by is the fact that Jesus gets down in the dirt and he begins to write. And a lot of people have theories about what it
So
is
many
he wrote. There's
theories.
so many theories about what he wrote. But one of the things that I think spoke to me that you can just see from the passage is that he gets in the dirt. He was not afraid of the dirt, of the mess, of the things in our lives. He's not afraid of the messy stuff. And so Jesus is willing to engage with the messy stuff, and no matter what form it comes in. That's what I always took from that passage. It's like Jesus is not afraid of my mess. He's not afraid of my sin. He's not afraid of my mistakes.
Not afraid
He's
to get
willing to
down in the
meet me
dirt.
and get down in the dirt
Mm.
right where I am,
And just the
regardless of what
posture.
people say. Yeah, and just that, and
He
that I
controlled
think,
that moment by assuming
yeah,
a counterintuitive posture
hmm
of humility, defenseless. Like, you don't kneel down. There's nothing strong about that.
no,
Where everybody was bowed up, he was bowed down.
yeah. And Jesus being just so opposite of people, I think that that's where I begin to
Yeah.
understand the heart and the character of Jesus. That
Mm.
people come to say, "Hey, I condemn you with this," and Jesus says, "I'm not afraid of what you're going through right now. What you're in right now, that doesn't scare me. I'm big enough for that." And so, where people aren't big enough to be able to see me in the middle of what I've done or where I am in that season, Jesus says, "Hey, I'm big enough to see where you are and love you in the midst of that and pull you out of it." And so just looking at that story, that's one story that I feel has always speak to me about just the heart of Jesus. Like when we as a church say God's crazy about you, that's the crazy that when I look at Jesus, I see that crazy in that kind of love and that kind of pursuit of how he pursues me as a son.